With the recent release of Deadpool and Wolverine, we have seen a skyrocket in price for the old Deadpool game, I should say. Now, the old Deadpool game, for those of you who don't know, was released in 2013 for PS3 and Xbox 360 and PC, I think. And while that in itself isn't so interesting, what is interesting is what's currently happening to the market because of the situation surrounding the game. Now, if you don't know, the game was released on digital platforms and physical media. Obviously, back in the day, that was more common. Now, what has happened is Activision and Marvel's deal sort of expired in, I think it was 2014, so it was not too long after the game was made, or game was released, I should say. So they delisted the game off digital storefronts. So what happened then is all we have left, the only options we have, are to buy physical media. Now, if you know me, I'm a massive advocate for physical media, and with physical media, we obviously always have the option of selling on or repurchasing, whereas with digital, we don't. And this situation has kind of brought to light that physical media can still have a place in our current situation. And I think physical media is clearly a very good form of, very good form of video game consumption because yes, it might be slightly more inconvenient to go in and find a disc and launch it off of the disc. But when you look at a situation like this, it can clearly very easily turn into an investment. We've literally recently seen the Xbox 360 store just shut down. And with the Xbox 360 store shutting down, those games are going to start becoming a lot more expensive. And those games that are more difficult to find physically are going to go even higher in value than what they already were. The same thing has happened with this game. Now, obviously, this game is a little bit of a different circumstance. What happened with this game is obviously Deadpool and Wolverine has come out, and that has made more people want to play a Deadpool game. Situations like this happen in pop culture, and with that, we've seen the price of this game skyrocket. Now, if you didn't know, this game was already somewhat valuable, and in the past few weeks, it's just gotten ridiculously expensive. So when I purchased the game, I paid 400 Rand, which is about $20 if I'm working it out correctly. It is currently sitting on price charting at around $130 of worth, which is 240 or 203, 2,300 Rand, sorry. Sound like our ex-president. So it's currently sitting at 2,300 Rand, which is insane because that represents, I think, I'll put the percentage increase of value on the screen. But that's a massive amount of money made just by purchasing a game that I was going to play anyways, that I am playing anyways, last year on a whim. And the value has just increased so exponentially, so quickly because of one little movie coming out. I say little, obviously Deadpool Wolverine is not a little movie. But situations like that can have an effect on the video game market. And if you only have your games digitally, well, you obviously aren't going to have the ability then to sell it on. I mean, you could sell the console with it on installed. I know PlayStation 4 systems with PT, the Silent Hill ish game, sell for quite good money, and that's awesome, I guess. But nothing really beats having the disc in your hand. Now, while the Deadpool game is so sorely sought after now, it actually didn't review too well back in the day, scoring a 62-ish on Metacritic. Now, I haven't this isn't a review of the game, but I would say that's a little bit unfair. I would say it's at least a 70% or a 7 out of 10. I like the jokes, I like the game. The story's all over the show as it should be with a Deadpool game. The combat hasn't aged too well. It's like a hack and slash, third person shooter-ish type of game. It's fun enough, but it's very repetitive. I don't think it's really necessarily worth everyone going out and trying to spend $130 or 2,300 Rand on the game straight away. I think the prices will cool down. I don't think it's going to go down a little bit more, but maybe when it's under like $100, I think that's when it's more worth it. It obviously becomes a valuable collectible that everyone can then sell on afterwards. And yeah, I just want to say that this is probably a very good thing and a bad thing for physical media. We can see that because of the limited run and how short it was, it is going to be a more expensive title, and I just want more people to experience games. I don't want situations like this to happen, but also I don't want situations to happen like digital storefront situations where you can only purchase the game on the digital storefront. We've seen a lot of AAA studios recently go a little bit back on what they have been doing, we've now seen that Alan Wake 2 is now available for physical pre-order, which is fantastic. I will definitely be doing that. Baldur's Gate 3 has a physical edition. Who knows, maybe I'll get that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. A little bit more difficult here in South Africa, but what can you do? But we can clearly see that this is a point in the court of physical media opposed to digital media. Now, where this really benefits people is when you're collectors that are collecting and then wanting to sell on. You can see that your collection is going to have a lot more value, especially physically. I mean, there's just no doubt that as a value perspective, physical media is always going to be king. I just don't know how much longer we're going to have all physical media. I really hope the PS6 still has physical media, but then it's up to the publishers to still print physical media. So who knows what's going to happen in the future. But I just wanted to say that the Deadpool Wolverine impact on the Deadpool game is something that I'm hoping will cool down a little for the most part, so that most people can still play the game. Obviously, it's great for me. I mean, I have the game, I have good value. I have however much percentage it is increased on what my initial purchase was. But that's not really why I got the game. I got the game because I want to play it. I don't want to sit it on a shelf and then eventually sell it 3 months later. That's not really what I'm into. I want to buy games to play them. Yes, some of my games do have value. This one I think is now the highest value game, which isn't the most special thing. I don't have extremely rare games. I don't have Castlevania Symphony of the Night, for example, on PS1. But the Deadpool game is fun, and I really hope that more people can experience it. I haven't played the PS3 version. I don't know how good that is. If you have played the PS3 version and the PS4 version, please let me know down in the comments, and let the people down in the comments know if the PS3 version is still worth playing or picking up, because I think those prices are a little bit lower than the PS4 version, but not by much. But anyways, what is your guys' thoughts on the state of physical media versus digital media? I think this is a really good point and a very good example of why physical media is still very, very important in modern-ish times. I mean, this was released 2013. That's almost 11 years old. No, it is 11 years old. But that's not the point. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on physical media versus digital media. I think this is a very big point for physical media. Cheers. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and that if you do have the Deadpool game, you're enjoying the Deadpool game as much as I enjoyed the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Thanks.
Hey, player! You coming or what?